Well, you mentioned a little bit about this earlier in our conversation. The banking landscape in South Africa is very different. The banks have banking apps. They offer a lot of different banking options for different people. How's M-pesa going to break that market?
So we think that there's an amazing opportunity to do a couple of things. One is, clearly there's a market for the unbanked. There's 9 to 10 million people who haven't been banked, and it's a challenge for a bank employing 55,000 staff with trillions of rands of investment and billions of rands of money in data centers to try to service this bottom end of the market, where a rand or 2 rands is typically the value of airtime they buy at a time.
Yeah.
So because that's the available cash they've got. You see, a telecommunications company can generate an airtime voucher for 1 rand, deliver it to a retailer, sell it to a customer, have the customer redeem it on his phone, deliver the airtime to the customer, and collect the money from the retailer for the airtime he bought from us. That's a 1 rand voucher and still make a profit.
Wow.
We just took a deposit of 1 rand. And we processed a payment of 1 rand. So a telecommunications company actually, in a sense, is already a bank. We already process transactions of very low value. And we do that at 150,000 points of presence where you can buy airtime. So what we've done with M-pesa is we've said, Vodacom can deliver something that banks can't do, which is process very small value transactions incredibly cheaply. So we are able to deliver banking services in points where we sell airtime. 150,000 points, no bank has that.
Yeah.
So we think we can deliver accessibility, availability, because these places are open from 6 in the morning until midnight. We can deliver low value transactions incredibly cheaply. And because of our unique cost structure, we don't have to charge monthly account fees. In the same way, we don't charge you a fee for having a SIM. We're not going to charge you a fee for having an M-pesa wallet, but you pay a fee for having a bank account. So we'd like to remove some of that friction out of the system.
All right. Well, I see some similarities between M-pesa and some other mobile solutions like what's the one I'm looking for, MTN mobile payments. They also have a similar system. Would it then be beneficial to kind of group them all together and have one mobile payment solution that is interchangeable between the different brands?
So that's something that people have been working on in many countries. It hasn't worked yet in any country. It's beginning in Kenya, where they're starting to make the different mobile money plays interoperable. But every mobile money play is different. So for example, most banks have a mobile service that only works on its ATMs and its internet bank. All the other telcos who've launched here have worked with one retailer. We're working with all the retailers. All the big retailers are going to integrate M-pesa for cash in and cash out. You'll be able to buy cards at about 8,000 shops. Unlike some of the other players, no one else has a system where you can walk into a shop and buy a bank card with a chip on it. This is really powerful in South Africa. In South Africa, almost 1 billion rands of fraud occurs on bank cards because there's no chip, because criminal syndicates are scanning magnetic stripes. You can't launch a card in South Africa that doesn't have a chip in it. We're the first telco that's done that.
Wow.
And so it's got a pin, it's pin protected, and we decided to do it in the interest of the customer. So you'll be able to move money with M-pesa from any internet bank, to your cell phone, to use any bank's ATM using a chip card, and we'll be able to do that in real time. That's unique.
So the money moves from any internet bank to your M-pesa.
That's right.
So you must have a bank account.
You don't have to. You can use. Often, people with internet banking are sending money to poorer relatives using their internet bank account, but the poorer relative often doesn't have internet banking. So we think that there's an opportunity to link the people who need the money to the people who have the money. Now, what banks and retailers are trying to do is all of them are saying, no, you must use my bank for sending and my bank for receiving. My store for sending and my store for receiving. What we've done as Vodacom is we've said, no. Use any bank for sending. Use any retailer for cashing out. Use any retailer for cashing in. Use any ATM for cashing out. And spend at any merchant. We're trying to create a ubiquitous system that works pretty much everywhere.
Okay, I mean, you have to be on the Vodacom network, obviously.
It's a competitive requirement. Part of our strategy is to drive customers to our network and to maintain loyalty on our network and on our SIM card.